Mobile home electrical problems can be frustrating, especially when they are intermittent. A common call involves breakers tripping some days more on others or none at all. Sometimes outlets may not work, and other times they might work even with the breaker off. Often these symptoms point to a neutral problem. A loose neutral connection is a prime suspect for intermittent power loss and breaker tripping. Begin by checking all neutral wire connections at the main panel, subpanels if any, and individual outlets. Look for any signs of looseness, corrosion, or damage. A broken neutral wire can also cause similar issues. To test for this, use a voltage tester to check for voltage between the neutral wire and ground. If there is voltage present, the neutral wire may be broken somewhere in the circuit. Reverse polarity, where the neutral and ground wires are incorrectly wired, can also create a dangerous situation and cause breakers to trip. Use a voltage tester to verify the polarity of the outlets and appliances. Beyond neutral issues, several other potential causes exist. Faulty breakers themselves can trip intermittently if they are worn or damaged. If you suspect a breaker is faulty, replace it. An overloaded circuit caused by excessive power consumption on a single circuit can also trip breakers. Check the load on each breaker and ensure it does not exceed the breaker's rated amperage. A ground fault occurs when current leaks to ground instead of returning through the neutral wire. This can cause breakers to trip. Carefully inspect the wiring for any exposed wires or short circuits that could be causing the ground fault. When troubleshooting, start with a systematic approach. Begin by inspecting the main panel. Look for loose connections, corrosion, or any damage to the main breaker and bus bars. Be extremely cautious when working inside the main panel, as it is live. Next, check any subpanels and individual outlet boxes. Open them up to inspect for loose connections, loose wires, or damaged components. A temporary grounding test can help isolate the problem. Temporarily connect a small appliance or lamp to the neutral and ground wires at the main panel. If the appliance works normally, it suggests the neutral problem may be localized to a specific circuit or area. A voltage drop test can help identify neutral problems under load. Use a voltage drop tester to measure the voltage drop across the neutral wire while the circuit is under load. A significant voltage drop indicates a possible neutral issue. Always prioritize safety when performing electrical work. Always turn off the power before performing any electrical work. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as insulated gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable or qualified to perform electrical repairs, contact a licensed electrician. Before starting any work, ensure the power is off at the main breaker. Visually inspect the service entrance conductors for any signs of damage or wear. Check the grounding electrode conductor and ensure it is properly connected to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or water pipe. At the main panel, inspect the neutral bus bar for any loose connections or signs of corrosion. Tighten any loose connections and clean any corroded areas. Check the grounding bus bar for the same issues, ensuring all ground wires are securely connected. Verify that the main breaker is properly seated and functioning correctly. Test the voltage at the main breaker to ensure it is providing the correct voltage, typically 240 volts across both legs and 120 volts from each leg to neutral. Move to any subpanels and repeat the inspection process. Check for loose connections, corrosion, and proper grounding. Inspect the breakers in the subpanel to ensure they are properly seated and functioning correctly. Test the voltage at the subpanel breakers to ensure they are receiving the correct voltage. At each outlet and switch, remove the cover plate and inspect the wiring connections. Look for loose wires, damaged insulation, or signs of overheating. Use a voltage tester to verify that the outlet is properly wired, with the hot wire connected to the correct terminal, the neutral wire connected to the neutral terminal, and the ground wire connected to the ground terminal. If you find any reverse polarity, correct the wiring immediately. Check the continuity of the neutral wire using a multimeter. Disconnect the neutral wire at both ends and measure the resistance between the two ends. A high resistance indicates a possible break in the neutral wire. Check the continuity of the ground wire using a multimeter. Disconnect the ground wire at both ends and measure the resistance between the two ends. A high resistance indicates a possible break in the ground wire. If you suspect a ground fault, use a ground fault circuit interrupter or GFCI tester to test the outlets. Plug the tester into the outlet and press the test button. The GFCI should trip, indicating that the outlet is properly protected. If the GFCI does not trip, there may be a ground fault or a faulty GFCI outlet. Check the ampacity of the wiring to ensure it is adequate for the load. Refer to the National Electrical Code, or NEC, Table 310.16 to determine the allowable ampacity of conductors based on their size and insulation type. If the wiring is undersized, it can overheat and cause breakers to trip. Check the size of the breakers to ensure they are appropriate for the circuits they protect. Oversized breakers can allow too much current to flow through the wiring, potentially causing overheating and fires. If you find any incorrect breaker sizes, replace them with the correct size. Inspect the wiring for any signs of damage, such as cuts, abrasions, or rodent damage. Replace any damaged wiring immediately. Look for any exposed wires or splices that are not properly protected. Protect any exposed wires or splices with the electrical tape or wire connectors. Check the connections at all lighting fixtures and appliances to ensure they are secure and properly wired. Look for loose wires, damaged insulation, or signs of overheating. If you find any loose connections, tighten them. If you find any damaged insulation, repair or replace the wiring. If you find any signs of overheating, investigate the cause and correct the problem. Inspect the electrical panel for any signs of water damage or moisture. Water damage can cause corrosion and short circuits, leading to electrical problems. If you find any water damage, address the source of the water and repair any damaged components. Check the surge protection devices in the electrical panel to ensure they are functioning properly. Surge protection devices can protect your electrical system from voltage spikes caused by lightning or other electrical disturbances. If the surge protection devices are not functioning properly, replace them. Verify that all electrical boxes are properly grounded. Grounding is essential for safety and helps to prevent electrical shocks. If you find any ungrounded electrical boxes, ground them immediately. Check the smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in the mobile home to ensure they are functioning properly. Smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors can save lives by alerting you to fires or carbon monoxide leaks. Replace the batteries in the detectors regularly and test them monthly. Consider installing arc fault circuit interrupters, or SIs, in the electrical panel. SIs are designed to detect arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. SIs can provide additional protection against electrical fires. Consult with a licensed electrician to determine if SIs are appropriate for your mobile home. Regularly inspect your electrical system for any signs of problems. Early detection of electrical problems can help to prevent serious damage or injury. If you notice any flickering lights, tripping breakers, or other unusual electrical behavior, investigate the cause immediately. Keep a record of any electrical repairs or modifications that you make to your mobile home. This record can be helpful for future troubleshooting or maintenance. If you are unsure about any aspect of your electrical system, consult with a licensed electrician. A licensed electrician can provide expert advice and assistance to ensure your electrical system is safe and functioning properly. Following these steps can help you troubleshoot and resolve electrical problems in your mobile home. Remember to always prioritize safety and consult with a licensed electrician if you are unsure about any aspect of the electrical work. By taking proactive steps to maintain your electrical system, you can help to prevent electrical problems and ensure the safety of your home and family. If an outlet sometimes works with the breaker off, this is a major indication of backfeeding, which is an extremely dangerous situation. Backfeeding happens when electricity flows into a circuit from an unintended source, often through a shared neutral. This can energize the circuit even when the breaker is off, creating a shock hazard. This scenario emphasizes the critical importance of identifying and correcting the underlying wiring fault immediately. It's crucial to avoid any contact with the affected circuit until the problem is resolved by a qualified electrician. The fact that the power company and a mobile home technician couldn't find anything immediately doesn't mean the problem doesn't exist. Intermittent issues can be challenging to diagnose, as the problem may not be present during the inspection. However, the symptoms described strongly suggest a neutral issue or backfeeding, which requires a thorough and systematic investigation. Don't underestimate the potential dangers of electrical problems in a mobile home. Mobile homes often have unique wiring configurations and can be more susceptible to certain electrical issues. It's always best to err on the side of caution and seek professional help when dealing with electrical problems. Consider the age of the mobile home. Older mobile homes may have outdated wiring that is more prone to problems. If the mobile home is several decades old, it may be worth considering a complete electrical system upgrade to ensure safety and reliability. When checking for loose connections, pay close attention to the connections at the breaker panel, outlets, switches, and light fixtures. Loose connections can cause overheating, arcing, and electrical fires. Use a torque screwdriver to tighten the connections to the proper torque specification. This will ensure a secure connection without over-tightening and damaging the terminals. Look for any signs of corrosion in the wiring or terminals. Corrosion can increase resistance and lead to overheating. Clean any corroded areas with a wire brush and apply an anti-corrosion compound. When replacing breakers, use only breakers that are specifically designed for use in the panel. Using the wrong type of breaker can create a safety hazard. Check the labeling on the breaker panel to determine the correct type of breakers to use. When working with electrical wiring, always use insulated tools. Insulated tools can help to protect you from electric shock. Wear rubber gloves and safety glasses to further protect yourself from electrical hazards. Before disconnecting any wiring, label the wires so that you can easily reconnect them in the correct order. This will help to prevent wiring errors. Use a non-contact voltage tester to verify that the power is off before working on any electrical circuit. A non-contact voltage tester can detect the presence of voltage without having to touch the wires. When testing for voltage, be sure to test both the hot and neutral wires. A missing or disconnected neutral wire can create a dangerous situation. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to call a qualified electrician. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself from electric shock. Remember that electrical codes vary from place to place. Consult with your local building department to determine the electrical codes that apply to your mobile home. Consider having a qualified electrician perform a complete electrical inspection of your mobile home. A thorough inspection can identify potential problems before they become serious. Document all of your electrical work, including the date, description of the work, and any materials used. This documentation can be helpful for future troubleshooting or maintenance. If you have any questions or concerns about your electrical system, consult with a qualified electrician. A qualified electrician can provide expert advice and assistance to ensure your electrical system is safe and functioning properly. Electrical problems can be frustrating, but with a systematic approach and a focus on safety, you can often resolve them yourself. However, if you are ever unsure about anything, it is always best to call a qualified electrician.